Hi, I'm Johnny from UltimatePaperMache.com, and I finally got the Stargazer Man all sanded and painted, and so he's all done. It didn't actually take as long as I expected it to. I never sand paper mache clay, but I had to this time because I was so sloppy putting it on, and so it dries really hard, and my usual methods of smoothing off paper mache just wouldn't work for this guy. That was totally my fault, but I did finally get it done, and it took me a little bit longer than it should have, not because of the work on this guy, but because I got involved in a couple of other projects. The first one was I happened to go visit my daughter, and I saw this guy in her kitchen. It was one of the first projects that I put on my website. So I went out and looked at the actual blog post that he was on and saw that the images were about 2 inches wide. The same thing is true for this guy. I stole this guy from her too. I think this was this second or third project I put on my website. It's a piggy bank made over a salt box, and again the images were just tiny. So I found a free program that lets me expand them and make them bigger. The reason that they were so small in the first place was back in 2008, I had a dial-up modem. Remember those where if you had a photo that was too big and it would load onto your computer one line at a time? And so I had to make them really small so people could actually see them. But that's no longer true. So I am going back over those old posts and I'm fixing them. I haven't gotten very many of them done yet, but you can find this guy. I'll put a link to him down below. He's really cute. The other thing that it took me a little bit of time was to learn this brand new camera that I got. It's tiny. This part here is the actual camera. The reason that I got this is because I needed a camera that was small enough to go between me and the thing I'm working on. Sometimes the camera that I normally use will focus on my hands instead of on the sculpture, and then I have to edit all that out or just leave it in and it looks really bad. The other reason is that a couple of times lately I've been working on something and I'll realize that I need to get closer to see it, and I'll kind of lean over like this and I'll be taking video of the back of my head. Those I have to edit out too. So I got this little guy. It's kind of a splurge. I think it's working okay. The first couple of clips you'll see when on the how-to part of this video, the sound doesn't work very good, but I'm learning as we go. It got better. But let's get started on this guy. I want to show you how I finished him up.
Since I'm going to be out here anyway, I'm going to let the chickens out. I'm going to use this little deal on a very coarse sandpaper. And I think this is going to go a lot faster than I expected it to. Yeah, this is going to be fine. I can do it. Now the other thing I want to play with is this thing. I did try this, but it just isn't coarse enough. It'd be okay for the last go around, you know, when I'm finishing it up. But right now, no. Let's see if I can get this open. Now there's coarse ones and there's real fine ones, and it's like it rolls somehow or another. I haven't quite figured that out yet. I'll work on it. Maybe I'll have to read the directions. But anyway, this is supposed to be for areas like this. Okay, I'll turn the camera off and I'll just sit here and do this for about an hour. This guy is now as smooth as I'm going to get it. I'm not going to work on it anymore because there's a limit, you know, to how much I should work on this thing. I did find out some things about the sander. I really like this thing. It's got a lot of pieces of sandpaper that you can put on. It's got Velcro on the back. It's really easy to change it, and it comes in different grits. So if I was ever going to sand anything again, I would use this. This thing is kind of nice, but if you're really clever, you can push these in together and then move the, you know, this thing. It comes with a whole bunch of them. And if you're more coordinated than I am, this might really help. But it does get into some really small spaces, and for that reason, I kind of like it. I did use this a little bit on the end. I've already used a damp cloth to get all of the dust off. Then I let it dry. And now I'm going to put on some of this gesso. Put it on thinly enough so that it doesn't cover up any of those details that I put on. Since this was an experiment to see if the new paper mache clay recipe would work, I did put some details on it with just a really skinny metal tool. Sometimes you'll sculpt with something, you'll think you're getting a really fine detail, and then when it dries, the details kind of go away. And that did not happen with this particular recipe. I'm really happy with it. So now I'm going to use some metallic paints that I bought, gosh, it was a couple of years ago. I think it was for the bird Mardi Gras mask, but I'm not actually sure because I used them once, I'm pretty sure, or at least a couple of the colors that are in this box, and then I never used them again. They've just been sitting on the shelf. So I decided that this would be a perfect project for them. I'm going to start out with the metallic bronze. Now this is not going to be the last layer. I thought maybe it would be, but I just didn't like the color as much as I wanted to, and so I added a few more colors and just kind of played around with it. Even though the name on the bottle was bronze, it feels like new copper to me. I'm using this stuff now. It's called champagne gold, and it's just softening up that red a little bit. But I'm going to let some of the red show through. And then I will put a black wash to show up the details and all the dips and everything. I do think I like this better. I'll go ahead and finish it and we'll see what we think. So now that's dry and I'm a little bit happier with it. Not totally, but a little better. And now I'm going to do a wash that I just want to leave in the cracks in the details. So I mixed some black acrylic paint, some burnt umber acrylic paint, a little bit of the golden glazing liquid, and quite a bit of water. I've got some paper towels here. Maybe a little too watery. And it's so shiny that it's just kind of rolling off. But I'm thinking that's all right. I have never done anything with bronze look except with Sculpt Nouveau bronze coating. And it's acrylic paint with bronze powder in it. So you can actually use a patina on it. It's I think they're acid based, but I'm not sure. But it just naturally puts a green patina on them. I think it was the deer. And I'll put a link to that down below if you'd like to see it. Because if you want something that really looks, bronze, then use real bronze paint. Now, since I'm kind of having fun playing with this guy, I'm going to use some Splendid Gold. Just kind of hit some highlights, maybe. We'll see what this does. A lot of people who paint models and do a lot of cosplay, helmets and stuff, they do use kind of a green to create a patina look. But I think I'm going to let it go. I'm going to use my Dura Clear Ultra Matte Varnish on it. He's dry enough. I'm going to get started on right now. It's slightly cloudy when it goes on, so you can tell where you're putting it. No, I should have stopped there, obviously, because it's like done. But when I was rummaging around for the paints and everything on my shelves, I ran across these. I've had them probably for 20 years. They're called, what are they called? Luster Rub-Ons.
I didn't even think they made them anymore. I used to really like playing with them, but I obviously just stashed them there and I forgot about them. And then I just happened to run across an old blog post, one of the oldest ones on my website, and it happened to mention these, gave me a link, I went and checked out, and they do still sell them. Not on Amazon for some reason, but you can get them. And they used to be a lot of fun to play with, so I decided to go ahead and try it just to kind of highlight a couple of places. Not very much. I'm just playing. They do have actually something that looks like bronze, and that's what it's called, bronze. So it's right there, and I don't know if I'm supposed to use my fingers in it. I guess why not? And the only reason I thought it would be kind of fun is just to highlight some of the parts that are currently getting the light bouncing. Let's see if I can even see it. Not really. No, you can't see it. Let me try this one. Just trying to highlight a couple of places. Okay, now I quit. Now, as I said before, if you actually want to bronze something and make it look like bronze, use this Sculpt Nouveau bronze coating and one of their green patinas, because if you want it to look like bronze, use bronze, and it really does have bronze in the acrylic, and so that's why it will actually react to their patinas. But on the other hand, we don't know what kind of metal they've got on whatever planet he's from. And so where he lives normally, when he's not flying around in space, maybe this is what their sculptures look like. Hey, why not? Now, one thing that I want to mention is that in my last video, I asked people if they wanted to write a story about this little guy to kind of let me know who he is. And I did get one response. Alan doesn't have a website, but he sent it to me, and I'm going to go ahead and post his little story on the post that I make for this guy, so I'll put a link to it down below. It's really cute. He was introducing the Stargazer Man to me, and the really fun part was why it's hard for them to date. You gotta read it. It's really funny. Do watch the previous video if you'd like to see how all these shapes went on here, because that part you can use on any kind of sculpture. And if you want to know what I used to actually create the skin, the paper mache clay, I used what I'm now calling my favorite paper mache clay recipe. It just came out last month, I think it was, a couple of weeks ago anyway, and I love it. It doesn't use any store-bought glue. You can use it with any kind of drywall joint compound, and it's just really creamy and nice and smooth when you put it on right. I did it really fast on this guy, that's why I had to go to so much work on him. But if you do it right and you take your time, it really is a beautiful material to work with. I'm getting a lot of feedback from people who have tried it already, and they really like it just as much as I do. So I'm going to put a link to both of those down below. I'll put a link to the mannequin that this guy was made over, in case you want to see that. And I'm going to put a couple of links down below to some videos that I watched before watching this one. I didn't actually use their instructions. I should have, but I didn't. But they actually know how to do a much better job of making a sculpture look like it's bronze with just acrylic paint. And a lot of people do that for cosplay, or for if they're painting models. It's done a lot, evidently, and there's other people who actually know what they're doing. I was just playing with some stuff in my studio, so I didn't use their instructions. That's it for today. Go make something, and then come back and visit me, ultimatepapermache.com. I'll see you there.